Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and the worst tracks of the week. You know what it is. This is what it is. Okay, before I get into all these tracks, which are linked down there below, as usual, want to shout out, of course, our Turntable Lab link, where you can buy a colorful pressing of a record we have reviewed on the channel. We get kickback from it. Supports the channel, supports this segment. Also, our Patreon page, where you can get access to bonus monthly Let's Argue Patreon only Let's Argue episodes. Also, monthly classic album listen along, live stream listening parties. We're doing our next one very soon. So hit up the page, see what we got over there. And finally, I want to shout out our little charity vinyl compilation that we did, or we put out at the end of October. It's only really been out a month now. This baby's just a month old, that we put out with proceeds going toward the Immigrant Legal Resource Center. There's only a few hundred copies of these left. So if you really want to get one, hit up the link down below, but also keep in mind the remaining couple hundred copies that we have left. We are going to put them on sale on Black Friday. So get them now or wait and see what of them are left and get them then. Either way, get one this week. Get one when you can. And yeah, that's it. Link down below. All right, let's get into the worst tracks of the week. The worst tracks of the week. We have a handful. First, the new PARTYNEXTDOOR track, Loyal, featuring Drake, is absolutely mind-numbingly boring alternative R&B. I think it is pretty safe to say at this point that being tossed into the OVO stable has very much prevented PARTYNEXTDOOR from evolving and progressing in any significant way. And now what we're getting is just very, very stale, really behind the curve at this point. And yeah, it's just really unexciting, frankly. Moving on from there, Marilyn Manson has seen fit to do a cover of The Doors' The End, and it is about as long-winded and as drawn out as one could imagine, I guess, with Manson just taking a lot of spatial liberties with the track. It's really just devoid of anything interesting for its 8-minute runtime, and I don't ever want to hear it again for the rest of my life. Moving on from there, the new Bad Bunny track, Vete. I don't know. I cannot stand this man's vocalizations, unfortunately. They just seem so off to my ears. He does not, to me, come off as like a traditionally great singer. I know the dude has a lot of heart and have all the respect in the world for him, how he sort of put his public image on the line in some of the Puerto Rico protests and kind of going down there and doing his thing down there and showing support and solidarity for those fighting for a better life and a better government in the country. But having said all that, I cannot get into this song over here as much as I do fuck with this man's haircut. We're on the bald wave, but once more, I just cannot really get into this track. Outside of the beat goes kind of hard, but the singing I just cannot. Moving on from there, a new Kehlani track, You Know Wassup, which really could use more of a strong melody, more of a structure. For the most part, she just seems to be ranting over a very generic, somewhat smooth and pillowy instrumental, and really just like kind of complaining about a relationship that she doesn't really seem to be getting as much out of as she would like. Outside of that, there's not really a whole lot about the song that feels all that compelling, but what are you going to do? All right. Tracks I felt kind of meh on. Wasn't blown away by them, but thought they were still worth pointing out. One, a new track from SASAMI, who is an artist who I've talked about before in this series. She has a new record out that dropped this year that I think is okay. She also has a new EP, a holiday-themed EP out, little drummer BB, and a few tracks from it are floating around the internet right now. It's You is a very quaint piece of drum machine-backed bedroom pop that is somewhat lo-fi, but still very pretty and a little melancholic. Give it a try, give it a shot. Next, we have a new track from Maggie Rogers, a singer and songwriter who's new recent record I didn't really get that much out of. However, with this new song of hers over here, Love You for a Long Time, it kind of seems like a 90s singer-songwriter throwback radio jam. That's not too bad. The vocals are still not all that distinct, but still not all that distinct. But still, it's sweet on the ears. It's nice on the ears. A hit of slight nostalgia for me personally. Damn. All right. Next, a new track from singer and songwriter Maggie Rogers, whose new LP I didn't care for all that much. But this new single of hers, Love You for a Long Time, has a bit of a throwback 90s singer-songwriter radio jam quality to it that I liked quite a bit. Vocals still a little generic, but the tune is nice. The tune is sweet. We also have a new track from Eddy, current Suppression Ring, Australian garage rock band, very linear song over here. Some vocals that are pretty straightforward, almost narrative in tone. The lyrics feel kind of political, a little revolutionary. That quality about the track that I like, but I thought that the writing, the performance, the progression of the song was a little tedious and repetitive. We have Destroyer out with a new track where I do like some of the lyrics, I do like some of the vocals, but like with the other teaser from his upcoming record, Have We Met, this new song also feels like it could use more progression. It needs more interesting instrumental backdrop. It just doesn't happen, is the title of it. And again, while there are some lyrical and vocal ideas presented here that I thought were pretty cool, overall the song does get a little tedious. And let's get into the best tracks of the week, starting with Anderson .Paak and Mark Ronson coming together on this track. Then There Were Two, which is a song from the new Spies in Disguise Disney animated film soundtrack. Wouldn't really be covering this or making a big deal of this if it weren't for the fact that Anderson .Paak and Mark Ronson are a duo that has long been overdue, and the song comes out fucking excellent. I hope that this is the start of a beautiful friendship, because given Mark Ronson's pedigree, the stuff he was able to do back in the day with artists like Amy Winehouse, and given the era of sounds and influences that Anderson .Paak seems to typically pull from in his own music, I feel like Anderson and Mark are just a match made in heaven. These two need to do, okay, this whole, if this video exists for any reason, it's to put this message out into the world, okay? These two need to do an entire record together. Get in the fucking studio and do an entire record, because if even half of it comes out as good as this song, it would have been worth it. So there you go. That's my idea. That's my opinion. Let's go. And next we have a brand new song from English producer, electronic music producer, Mr. Squarepusher, who has been on a bit of a hiatus, bit of an album hiatus for a while now. Seems like we are getting a new record very soon. The title of this one over here is Vortrack, and it's easily one of the glitchiest and most mind-bending singles I think Tom Jenkinson has dropped in a long time. As somebody who is a big fan of a lot of Squarepusher's older stuff, I am digging this one quite a bit. We have a new track from Stormzy as well. Rapper, singer, songwriter. Stormzy, he has a new record on the way that people are making a big deal of. He has this latest single out with Burna Boy as well as Ed Sheeran. And yeah, I actually enjoy it. The Ed Sheeran feature is not too bad. I think Burna Boy does well on the track. I think the instrumental is fantastic. I think Stormzy also kicks the start off really well. Yeah, I don't really have much negative about this song to say. I dug it. I fucks with it. I like it quite a bit, despite the fact that I wasn't really all that into the poppier and more commercial direction of his last full-length record. I will be looking forward to this new one quite a bit. You know, could be a great one. Could really blow me away. We'll see. All right, we also have Rina Sawayama coming through with a brand new single, STFU, and it is yet another example of a new current day, bright, shining star, cutting edge pop artist who is incorporating elements of nu metal and groove metal into their sound. I don't have any reason to believe that this is like everything Rina's going to be doing for the next record or two records or whatever, but this single on its own is really aggressive, it's bombastic, it's in your face, it's catchy, features some quality vocals, heavy production, good riffage, So yeah, dug it quite a bit. Rina, STFU, check it out. It's a fun single. All right, Ozzy Osbourne, Straight to Hell. Yes, Ozzy is back with a really fucking good new track with a sound and a production style that is very much in the vein of the dozens, if not hundreds, of sludge and stoner metal bands that Black Sabbath has influenced over the years, because it sounds almost as if the guitars and the drums on this thing are off of like a Sleep or a High on Fire record, which is not a bad sound. It is not a bad sound. It's heavy as hell. It hits hard. Ozzy's lyrics are about essentially drug abuse and drug addiction, so it's pretty, in his wheelhouse of knowledge, and he writes from a very compelling place, given his past. Just generally, it's a very great track. I liked it a lot more than the last track that Ozzy dropped very recently. That one felt a lot more sterile, even if it was a pretty solid ballad. This one is good writing, good performance. It sounds gnarly as fuck, and it has a really pretty bridge on it as well. So all in all, this is a really good Ozzy track. We have a new song from Kesha as well. Kesha is back, My Own Dance. A song essentially about her marching to the beat of her own drum, her own direction, her own style. This is Kesha. I am woman, hear me roar, that sort of thing. There are a few weird lyrical ideas on here, like don't circumcise, I can't even say it. Don't circumcise my circumstance. Not sure if I'm super crazy about that lyric, but generally, I think the song is actually really catchy, and I think I liked it more than her last major teaser track. So I don't know, it's out there, it's weird, it's ridiculous, it has some very funky in an odd way qualities to it, but that's just kind of Kesha, I guess. We also have HAIM, Hallelujah. Brand new track. It is a beautiful acoustic ballad that, in my opinion, has some qualities to it that reminds me of the great work of Nico, Chelsea Girl, that era. Maybe also a little bit of Simon and Garfunkel on this track too. It's quite nice and very good singing on it as well. So check it out. It's solid. Want to give a shout out also to Francis Quinlan of Hop Along fame, who seems to be on a bit of a solo venture now with this brand new track over here, Now That I'm Back. It is a dynamic, multifaceted ballad that is not as loud and as in your face and as I guess, ever shifting as a lot of those great tracks from Hop Along that indie rock fans love so much, but it's still a really good creative tune. So give it a try, give it a shot. Also want to give a shout out to this remix from MJ Cole of the Flume song Rushing Back, featuring Vera Blue. Great grooves and great, basically, I'll just say remix, reinterpretation, representation, I don't know, of this Flume track. It's got some great beats on it, some colorful production. Give it a try, give it a shot. And, Blood Incantation over here. Death metal band Blood Incantation. They just dropped this new full-length record, Hidden History of the Human Race. It is a gnarly as fuck death metal record with a bit of a sci-fi twist. And the production is heavy and thick and murderous, and yet everything rings through so clearly. It's not one of those dirty, grimy death metal records. And yet it's not a super sterile like a tech death record. It's a good midpoint. You know what I mean? There's some great playing. There's some good gory details, but it's not ruined by an overly clean or an overly dirty mix. Just give it a try. It's a good one. And Bill Callahan, brand new single out, If You Could Touch Her at All. And it's just a really good, sleepy, sad country ballad with some great instrumentation. The songwriting is a bit more beefed up than it was in comparison to a lot of the shorter vignette-like tracks off of Bill's latest record. But still, it's a good single, quality single. Hell yeah, Bill Callahan. And that has been the weekly track roundup, everyone. A quick one, but still some solid recommendations in there. Hit up the links down below in the description to check out some of the songs that I talked about. And once more, that wonderful, amazing little charity compilation down below. Only a couple hundred copies left. And what is remaining will be going on sale on the 29th and November 30th, okay, for a bit of a Black Friday thing. Okay, so link to that down below too. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Anthony Fantano, weekly track roundup forever.